Hey, what's up, Lakeside? All right, today your lesson is going to be using these object planes. You're going to be using all four coordinates. It's going to be quadrants, all four quadrants of this. And you're going to see that there's some numbers that are negative and positive, and it's easy to get confused, but I know you guys are going to be able to figure this out, okay? With these being said, the next part of this lesson is going to be finding which quadrants they're in, 1, 2, 3, or 4. But this first part, I think it'll make it easier for you when you go to the next lesson. Okay, so we're gonna start on U5 and then we're gonna go to U6. So U5 itself, if I look at these, it's asking what is the x coordinate of the purple pentagon. So we go to this purple pentagon, it's over here, and eventually you're gonna see you kind of dividing these into 4 parts. That's what this next lesson is gonna be. But if I go about this for this one up here, x coordinate of just this purple one, well, the x is going to tell me right here, this entire line is x. And if you notice with these, you start at your origin 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then you could also go negative as well, like a negative number. Think of it as temperature. You can also go -1, -2, -3, and so on and so forth. Now, the same thing goes for the y-axis. If you go away from the y-axis going upward, it's going to be a positive number. But if you go the opposite, if you go away from the origin going down, it's going to be a negative number. -1, -2, -3. And that's going to be the biggest difference in using we've been only using quadrant 1 up on top. You haven't seen these other ones. But then eventually we're going to get into, all right, well, if this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and you guessed it, quadrant 4. And it goes in counterclockwise for whatever reason, but negative, or both positives, one of them's positive, one's negative. Over here, they're both negative. Here, one of them's positive, one of them's negative. We'll get into that as you start graphing them, but going about this, my original answer, you're looking up here, what's the x coordinate of this purple pentagon? It's a 1. So I'm going to go over here, type in a 1. 1. My assistant is taking lunch, so this is what we're working with. You got it. Let's go to this next one over here. So much quieter doing lessons. All right, so this one says here, what's the y coordinate, so the vertical one, the y one of this green triangle? Well, I find the green triangle. My y is this vertical. Green triangle is right here, so it would be 3, 2. So this is my y coordinate. Oh, it's only 2 away, so it's 2. That's all we're working with, 2. Again, this would be in quadrant number 1, which we'll get into. What did I say? It's 2. And the thing I like about IXL, if you get it wrong, pay attention. It'll explain why you got it wrong. Okay, let's do one more and then we're going to hopefully move on here. Yes, where's that heart? So, where is the x coordinate? The x coordinate of the pink heart. So, my x is over here. Well, right away when I look about these numbers, I'm looking for the x coordinate of the pink heart. If you notice over here, this pink heart, it's in these negative numbers, this way and this way. Well, if I look at x, if I start at my 0, 0, my origin, and I have to go to this pink heart, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. I go -4. Then eventually I drop down a negative number. But just for this x one, my x coordinate, my x line here, 1, 2, 3, 4. My answer would be a -4. Make sure you type in -4. If you type in 4, it's going to mark it wrong. So we got to hit that negative button. 4. -4. Make sure it shows up here because you're going to get frustrated if you type in just 4. Okay. Let's see if they give you more negative numbers. X coordinate of the triangle. Yes, we'll do another one of these, okay? Last one of this one we'll switch up. So, what is the x coordinate, not the y, what is the x coordinate of this pink triangle? Remember, my x line is right here. It's the horizontal line. And if I go to this pink triangle, if I started here, my origin, I'd have to go over 1, 2, 3. -3. My y, in this case, would be a -5. -3, -5, we'd write it as -3, -5. -3, -5, all right? And -3, it went down, -5. So my answer in this case for the x coordinate would just be -3. -3. And hopefully you got it right. Should get it right. Yeah, awesome. So now we're going to move on to U6, okay? And again, if you feel like, Mr. O, I got this, after a few of them, move on. You guys are smart kids. You don't always need your teacher here to guide you through it, but we are definitely here to help you. So U6. And this is where you're just going to be answering, right? Which quadrant is it in? Is it in 1, 2, 3, or 4? Or which shape is in each quadrant? Now, I'm going to get this one wrong on purpose. It says, which shape is in quadrant 4? Now, they use these Roman numerals up on top, IV, okay? And they use them in Super Bowls and things like that. But if it's one number or one I, that's going to be your 1. Again, it goes counterclockwise. This would be I. That'd be 2. I don't know why can't they just write 1, 2, right? But they don't. 1, 2, 3 is going to be down here, your third quadrant. And then your fourth quadrant is your IV. They put the number I in front of the V to subtract, ends up equaling 4, okay? So I'm looking at these shapes, and if you're doing this assignment, grab a piece of paper or note card, make a T, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to label them with the Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, and then IV 4. If you want to label them this way, this may help you. So again, this may be a thing that you can write on a note card and just know 1, 2, 3, 4. Roman numerals 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that'll help you figure out which quadrant you're going to be in. So this one, which shape is in quadrant 4? Well, it's the only one right here. Worked out pretty well. Submit. Okay. But if I look over here, right, each of these, well, which one's in quadrant 1? Well, I got to think. I go over here. Quadrant 1 is this one. Over here, this would be quadrant 2. There's your triangle. Again, it's divided into 4 sections. I go down here, the star would be quadrant 3. It's going to be both negative numbers, negative, negative. Over here, the circle in quadrant 4, it's going to have a positive X, but it's going to have a negative Y. And that'll be something we eventually add to this knowing, all right? Both the numbers here, they're positive. X and a Y. Over here, my X is going to be a negative number, but my Y is going to be a positive number. Over here, they're both negative. Negative, negative. And if I go this way, my X is positive, but in this case, my Y would be a negative number. And if you notice these, you're going to see some similarities. Both positive, both negative. They're opposite each other. One's positive, one's negative. One's positive, one's negative. The opposite, the X. Oh, I made that X backwards. Come on, X. Come on. Or not. Stubborn. This would be a negative. This would be a positive. This would be a positive. This would be a negative. They're opposites again. So again, when you're looking for your shapes, I want to identify the 4 quadrants, knowing 1, 2, 3, 4 goes opposite, and then just finding that shape. Again, what was this one? Which one's in quadrant 1? It was the pentagon. Type in that. See how we did. I feel like most of you probably zoned out. But anyways, this may help some of you. If you're not sure, get one wrong. If I get one wrong, hopefully I get it wrong. Sorry, incorrect. Good. The correct answer is this. It gives you the explanation, but right down here it'll say why. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, and go from there. And hopefully this helps you, seeing that like quadrant 4, the whole entire thing is this space, and this shape ended up being there. Good luck today, guys, gals. It is U5 and U6. U5 and U6.